So we know at some point Henry Cavill is going to be working with Amazon to make a Warhammer 40k episode, series in some form. And since I've already done 2 Warhammer videos, I figured, what the hell, I'll do 2 more. Yeah. So this basically is going to be, these next 2 videos are going to be about me talking about the basically talking about like what ideas I would love to see for Warhammer 40k getting a TV, like what TV shows would I love to see from a Warhammer 40k universe. So yeah. Now, I know a lot of people are like, people are not going to be happy anyway. Even if like Henry Cavill comes out there, you're going to see some, grifter come on and be like, oh, Henry Cavill had to, bow to the woke mob and all that. And I'm like, oh god, nothing makes anyone happy anymore. Yeah. When really, like, I saw these videos, like, I noticed, because for some reason, like, I just they're, for some reason, added, like, we think you'll like this video. So I see a lot of, like, videos talking about, like, oh, Henry Cavill is done with Amazon for their woke ideals. When it turns, and no one had any evidence to back it up, absolutely no evidence, when in reality, he was off spending me time because he was off preparing to be a dad. Yeah. Anyway, but enough about that. Let's talk about like some ideas of what a Warhammer TV show could be and what ideas we could see for a series. Now the thing is, I think that it's going to be tough. It is nearly impossible to tell the entire story of Warhammer 40k in entirety in one show. So I think like the best thing to do is kind of go like the Star Wars route, or like now we're doing with at Universal Studios with Jurassic World, and have it like be focused, and even like the MCU, where it's like movies and television series all connected on Amazon. And you could have some projects be live action, others be animated. I think that would be a good idea to, expand the universe through like either through animation. I think animation would probably be the best route for a Warhammer series. To get all of that, because I don't know, like, I know they spent a lot of money on Rings of Power. I know they spent a insane amount for Rings of Power, but I can't even begin to fathom what a fucking mortgage you would have to pull out. It's Jeff Bezos, what am I fucking talking about? But still, like, you're gonna have to sink a lot of money, even more money, I would imagine, for a live-action Warhammer series if you want to tell the story right in live action. Now, we don't know if Cavill is going to want to do it at live action or animated. I think it'll be, like, I think if Cavill and everyone else behind this, if this is still a go, I would imagine that it would probably be, and I think this would be the safe bet, is to do both live action and animated. So I think that would be the smart way to go. Where you have some projects that are way too big to do in live action, do that in animation, or as an animated movie or spin-off or series, go ahead. Live action can have, like, you can throw a lot of money at that. So let's get into it. So for the first half of this series, for this two-parter, I'm really just going to talk about like what are like the best ideas, and then for the second part we'll have some fun with the other one. But what would be the best ideas for Warhammer shows or movies or what have you? Like, what's the best ideas for that? Well, first and foremost, I think we all agree that the Horus Heresy is a story that really lends itself. And I think if Cavill, again, if they're still doing this project, I think the best option is the Horus Heresy to tell. If you want, like, a Game of Thrones in space, if you want to get that Game of Thrones audience, if you want to get that, spacefaring audience, the Horus Heresy is the best way to go. Like, really, the Horus Heresy is the number one, best course of action for any show. And I think, like, you got 55 fucking books to pull source from. I don't think you'll be, you won't have to, like, come up with, original ideas. Don't worry. We've got enough. And Cavill's very a stickler for lore. Obviously, that was one of the things that pulled him away from being The Witcher, was that yeah, he was mad that they weren't following the lore correctly. So he's going to follow those 55 books very carefully. with maybe like 95% it'll be accurate, 95 accurate, 5% maybe little things here and there, and that would probably be character stuff at best. So yeah, the Horus Heresy would probably be the one thing you would want to do. Now, as for other like projects, I would have to imagine that like we'd have to skip ahead because again, that's 30K. We'll have to do full Warhammer 40K stuff. We'd have to focus on other things. One of the projects I think would be really cool to really focus on, and I would say the Horus Heresy would probably work as like you could either do as a show or like, well, it might be bigger than 3 movies, so you might have to do it as like, I don't know, 12 seasons. So to get that story right, and even then I'm guesstimating on that, or should I say lowballing that? But still, I think another one would be really cool, and this would probably work as a movie. Like, this could work easily as a movie, and that's the Battle of Hell's Reach. The Battle of Hell's Reach was one of the many battles of Armageddon with the Black Templars and Salamanders, along with the Astra Militarum and the Sisters of Battle, in one of the biggest wars with the Orcs that was recorded in Warhammer history. It was a major battle, and also it is kind of treated as a loss in some way. There's a lot to it, but I think the Battle of Hell's Reach would make for an excellent movie. I think that would make for a fun film, maybe even a trilogy of films, because I think there's enough there with the Battle of Armageddon to pull from. For others, I would say the Fall of Deimos would be cool. I think that's it's a lesser known. It's a story that's kind of left behind in a lot of it. I think a show that would be, and I'm gonna talk about the aliens in the second part. So I'm gonna get all the Ultramete. Yeah, I'm gonna get all the Space Marine shit out of the way first. I think it would be really cool if we could do a show on the Inquisitors. Yeah, well, Space Marine and let's get all the Hume stuff out of the way first. So the Inquisitors would be really cool. I would really love to see a Sisters of Battle series or movie. Those would be really cool. I would also, I would love to see like a series that focuses on, like I said, the Inquisition. Maybe like as a special, like as a fun little like special focus on the Katakan jungle fighters, and just because remember, these guys are so hardcore. They say Cadia. They call people Cadians as an insult. And that's another thing I think could work as either a movie or a show. This one they'll probably make it into a movie. But I think the Fall of Cadia would be an awesome thing to see in either live action or animated. To see, the Fall of Cadia and also all get our collective hearts ripped out. I think that would be a lot of fun to see, the Battle of Cadia. Or the 13th Black Crusade. The Fall of Cadia. I'm saying words now. For others, I would love to see slice of life is the best you can get. Is not the right words, but it's the closest I can compare with a series that would focus on a story in the grimdark universe. But I would love to see a series that would focus on a hive world, excuse me. Just focus on one of the many cities and focus on like day-to-day life. Like, what's it like? And I know this probably wouldn't be a long-running show, but it would be kind of cool to do and again, we all want to see like, Space Marines fighting shit, but I think it would be kind of cool to do maybe what's it like to live in one of the hive cities and get like a citizen's eye view of what the world of Warhammer is like when you're just in this little city, and also involve gene stealer cults. Like, that would be the main the main threat would be gene stealer cults, and the end of the story is the Tyranids invading, and then you bring in the Space Marines to fight them off. There you go. There's your show and or movie. But have it be like it's almost like an X-Files kind of thing. Because what I find fascinating about the citizens of the Imperium is that a lot of them there's thousands of worlds that are under the Imperium's control, and a lot of them don't really have any attacks on them. like they never have, like they just kind of go through life in this whole bubble of ignorance. So I think it'd be kind of fun as like maybe like an X-Files kind of thing, or like a crime noir kind of story where you follow an officer who is kind of pulls on one string, and it leads to him discovering like a gene stealer cult, and it culminates into a Tyranid invasion on the city. That would be a lot. I think that would be a lot of fun. Also, kind of focus on, like, kind of showcase what does the rest of the world look like from a citizen's eye view, and see like what kind of wars are going on, things like that. I think that would be a lot. I think that would be a lot of fun to really showcase, but maybe that's just personal preference for me. I would also, since we're focusing on humans again, like I've talked about, like we have, you know, Sisters of Battle, maybe movie or series. What else was there? Like Commissar Kane. You think I wasn't going to bring up... I would love a TV series focusing on Kane. Either live action or animated, but either way, he has to be played by Bruce Campbell. Like, I'm serious. He has to be played by Bruce Campbell. There's no other way to get around it. You have to have Bruce Campbell, or I would settle for Nathan Fillion, to play Caiaphas Kane. I just need a Caiaphas Kane show to like offset the grimdark, because you need that asshole for some fun, you know. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Those are just a few ideas, and like I said, part 2 will focus more on aliens. So we'll talk more about that in the second part. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what Warhammer shows would you like to see be made? Just comment below, let me know. Yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.